This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. I love being here helping you with playing the guitar. In this video, we're going to be learning the D minor chord, and we're going to be jamming together, you, me, and the band, playing some different songs that use D minor, right along with some of the other chords that we've learned previously in the lesson series. It's going to be super great. Now, this video does accompany Lesson 9 from my Chords and Harmony Books 1 and 2 method book. So if you have that book, we're going to be starting on page 52, learning this chord and playing number 2. But we're going to be playing 5 different songs, but that's where we're going to be starting. So let's go ahead and take a look at the D minor chord. Now, compared to D major, only one note changes. So if we were playing D major, this note would be at the 2nd fret instead of at the 1st fret. But to play D minor, we have to rearrange our entire hand to play that one note different. So we've got our index finger at the 1st fret on the top string. And then we've got our middle finger at the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. And then we've got our ring finger at the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. And then we play the top 4 strings, so the 4th string is open, but we don't play the bottom 2. And we get a nice sounding D minor chord. So you just want to play that, strum that a little bit, and get familiar with it. With playing D minor, that is a new shape. We've never played that shape before, but we learned A minor a couple lessons ago, and we worked on it even in the last video. With A minor, this ring finger would just be 1 fret down, and we would have that shape that we use for A minor and E. To play D minor, that ring finger just goes 1 fret higher. So that might be a way to sort of start getting comfortable finding the D minor, is to go back and forth between D minor and A minor. And you've got A minor written there as well on page 52 if you need a refresher with how to play the A minor. But if you just go back and forth between D minor and A minor, moving those fingers, there can be a familiarity there. You just kind of get used to moving that ring finger over for D minor. Once you've gotten with sort of those whole notes, you could add in a strumming pattern: down, down, up, up, down, up. For example, we'd have Re-Ti and D minor to A minor, back to D minor to A minor, to D minor to A minor. With any of the songs that we go and play through, if there's a chord change, meaning moving from one chord to the next that's difficult, it's great to just go back and forth between those 2 chords until you get comfortable making that change. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jam together on 5 songs that use D minor and some of the other chords that we've learned previously in the lesson series. At this point, actually, adding D minor to our repertoire of chords is sort of adding the last true open position chord. So congratulations on all these chords that we've been doing. As we continue from here, we're going to start having bar chords added in that use the bar, kind of like the F chord used. We'll have other ones. Open position chords tend to use, for the most part, the open strings, or at least an open string. So as we start to get some of the other bar chords in there, we do have bar chords that happen at first position. So we'll be learning those as we continue through the lesson series. But D minor gets us the last of those basic open position chords, which is so awesome. So as we're playing here in lesson 9, we'll be jamming with the D minor and then lots of the other chords that we've learned previously. If one of them comes up that's less familiar, you can't remember how to play it, there is that chart in the back of the book, or towards the back of the book, where you can just see the reference there that shows you how to play all those chords in open position, or you can flip back earlier in the book and find those chords, or check out the previous videos where we've worked on those chords as well. But I'm not going to review those chords here, and I'm also not going to review the strumming patterns. For 4/4 time, we'll be using the down, down, up, down, up, or down, down, up, down, up, down, up, whichever one is written there with the song that we're playing. And then for 3/4 time, of course, we're using down, down, up, down, up. We've worked on those strumming patterns a lot, so I'm not going to go over them again, but if you need to work them, you can, or you can even mute those strings and just strum right along with the jam track. But we're just going to play these songs together. Use it however you need to. So if you need to practice strumming without fingering the chords, or you need to practice fingering those chords without strumming, or you need to just practice singing on the ones that actually have lyrics, then that's okay. But we're going to start with number 2. They're on page 52. And then we will do numbers 6, 8, 12, and 15 from lesson 9. So 6, 8, 12, and 15. All of those will use D minor and some of the other chords that we've used previously. So they're all going to be fun. They'll each happen at 2 different tempos. First at that slower tempo and then a faster tempo. And getting into lesson 9, having learned so many chords previously and having learned these strumming patterns and practiced them quite a bit previously in the lesson series, we start working sometimes at a little bit faster tempos. So hopefully that's stretching you some more. And if you need to, you can just sort of learn to strum at that faster tempo without worrying about your left hand, then get that left hand happening. Okay, so it's going to be fun. Starting with number 2, let's jam together. There's no sickness, no toil or danger in that bright land to which I go. I'm going back to see my father. I'm going back, no more to roam. I'm just a dog winging over Jordan. I'm just a dog winging over Alas, my love, you do me wrong to cast me off discourteously when I have loved you so long, delighting in your company. Good sleeves is my delight, green sleeves is all my joy. Good sleeves is my lady love, and who but my lady green sleeves? Alas, my love, you do me wrong to cast me off discourteously when I have loved you so long, delighting in your company. Good sleeves is my delight, green sleeves is all my joy. Good sleeves is my lady love, and who but my lady green sleeves? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way, hey, and up she rises, way, hey, and up she rises, way, hey, and up she rises early in the morning. What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? Way, hey, and up she rises, way, hey, and up she rises, way, hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Okay, awesome. I hope you're having fun with this. In the next video, we're going to do the rest of the songs from Lesson 9 that we haven't done yet. Still working on D minor and even A minor some, and lots of the other chords that we worked on previously in the lesson series. But it's going to be great. Take care. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to check out more great content. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.